Hello, this is Cody from iSoft Data Systems, and today I'll be showing you ITrack Chromium, and more specifically how to enter parts inside of ITrack Chromium. So let's get signed in here. We'll go over to the parts screen, and once the parts screen loads, you'll notice that it brings up a search in order for us to check our existing inventory, but since we want to enter a new part, we'll just click on the New Part button. We'll begin by selecting a part type. I'll just type in engine assembly and select that. Click the Create Part button. So here our part has been created. Every time you enter information into ITrack Chromium, it saves as you go. For example, the tag number got generated by the system, but if we want to call this example engine, then it just saves it and you can see the information has automatically changed. The next thing we'll do is enter in a manufacturer and model. For some parts, such as engines, it matters more who made the thing instead of which vehicle it came off of. A CAT 1140. Another thing you can do is specify a location for it. Now this would be specific to your yard, whether you put parts in rows and columns or whether you hang them on racks. You'll just enter in whatever information you want for the location. I would make sure to make this consistent. You're not typing Bay 1 or Bay Space 1. Make sure it's the same thing every time. Another thing we can do is specify a vehicle with the part. So we've got vehicle 1005 in the system, and once you enter that information in, it will automatically populate it with the vehicle's information. So we've got our CAT engine that is coming off of a 1987 Kenworth K100E. And now that we filled in that information, and it populated automatically, this example engine is now associated with the vehicle. Let's move on to adding a price to the item. So we'll say this engine is $2,000. And the retail price here is what you want to pay attention to. That's what your invoices will use, and that's what the parts show up as on heavytruckparts.net. One cool thing is that as you're entering the parts into ITrack Chromium, they automatically get uploaded to heavytruckparts.net for you. We'll say that the engine cost you $500. And something you want to pay attention to is this HTTP appraised area. That is for heavytruckparts.net. And it gives you an average as to what these parts are selling for, specific to the part. For an engine that is a CAT C1140, the average on heavytruckparts.net is $3,750. This gives you an idea of what your competitors are selling the item for, and it gives you the information you need to price your part accordingly. Now that we've entered our price for the item, let's look at the stock configuration. There are a few check marks here, but the first four are the main ones that you'll want to pay attention to. Replenishable is mainly for new parts. It's for items that you'll order from a vendor, and they'll typically cost the same thing every time. Since this is an engine, we're not ordering that from a vendor, we're tearing it off of a part, so we'll leave that unchecked. Deplete means that once we sell an item, ITrack will subtract the quantity of it for you. So if you've got something with 3 quantity and you sell one of them, you don't have to go back in and manually adjust that. The system takes care of it for you. Show online, as long as this checkbox is checked, that means that the part that is automatically getting uploaded to heavytruckparts.net will be available as a listing that people can buy. So that makes it way easier for you. You don't have to do anything additional. ITrack takes care of it for you. If you don't want a listing to be created for the item, you just uncheck the box. The next thing we'll do is enter in a description. Now we've got the description and the internal notes, and the main difference here is that description is customer facing and internal notes are just for you. We'll say that this is a good runner, and that for the internal notes there's a hole in the engine block. Now we'll check on our quantity. So for our example of tearing down an engine off a vehicle, you really only have one quantity. But one thing that is nice is that if you are dealing with a replenishable item, you can set your inventory up so that you can keep track of it. So for example, if we want to keep a minimum of 10 quarts of oil around and have no more than 50 of them, this is how we would do that. And you'll notice that the quantity that we have right now is less than the minimum quantity, and ITrack warns us about that. So we'll increase the quantity to 10 to match the minimum quantity, and the warning goes away. We've entered in information for the part at this point, so now we're going to add attachments such as pictures and video. We'll scroll up to the top of the screen and click the Attachments tab, and you'll see an area to add pictures and one for videos. To add the pictures, you just click this Browse button, and you can add in a picture of your part. To add video, you click on this button and sign into your YouTube account, and it does have to be YouTube. And once you're signed in, it'll give you a list of your recent videos that you've uploaded, so that video of your running engine that you've just added will be right up at the top of the list. And having a video of your engine sets it apart on heavytruckparts.net. We've found that people pay attention to that. We'll move on to the History tab, and the information here shows a history of the part, which invoices it's been on, which purchase orders, and which quotes. And this information will automatically populate as you make changes in ITrack. If this item gets added to an invoice, that will automatically show up here. Next is the Breakdown tab. This information is pre-populated for you. So in our example, we've got an engine here, and we'll scroll down and take off the cylinder block. And all we need to do is click this check mark so that it turns green and enter in a price for it. Now there are a few pages of information here that we can go through, and if we want to create a crankshaft and a piston, once again all we need to do is click the green check marks here. And that's all there is to it. It was important for us to make it easy and convenient for you to enter parts into ITrack Chromium. But if you have any questions, please give us a call at 1-800-929-1829 and extension 3. Thanks for watching.